I probably wanted to be a cartoonist from the time I was 6 or 7 years old, and but it took me a long time to get there. I ended up getting a degree in illustration from the University of Tennessee and worked as a newspaper illustrator for 12 years. When I was working for the Chicago Tribune, they asked me if I would create a comic that could run in this new section they were doing that was going to target female readers called Women News. I came up with this single panel strip called See Jane, and it was supposed to be sort of an every woman kind of comic. And in the end, the section passed on the cartoon, but there was something in it that I liked, that resonated with me. So I just kept working on it for the next year or two, and it ended up morphing into what is now Jane's World. Jane, the main character, she looks a lot like me, if anybody sees the book, but she's not me. But she looks like me a little bit. And then the other main characters started out to be modeled after friends of mine, but then they sort of took on personalities of their own. So I would say the cast of Jane's World is a mix of sort of based in reality characters. They're named after a few friends of mine, and then just pure fiction characters. What I learned sort of by accident is that for the first few years, what Jane's World was really missing was tension. There needed to be an antagonist for Jane. And so at some point I introduced this character, Shell, who is sort of Jane's nemesis. And not in the superhero sense of nemesis, but just in everyday life. They're total opposites. They push each other's buttons. They're sort of attracted to each other, but can't get along. So I didn't realize it, but that is really what the strip was missing, was tension. And so around that tension, I've been able to build lots of stories. I think the thing that I enjoy most is just drawing. I love to draw. I've always loved to draw. And so even though I find enjoyment in the writing, and more so now that I think I've gotten to be a better storyteller since I've been doing the graphic novels, I do all the sort of front-end work first. I do the writing first, I do the sketching first, I line off the boards because I want to save the drawing for last, because that's the thing that I like the best. It sounds kind of funny. So that's sort of my prize at the end, you know, is actually inking the pages. Story ideas, sometimes they come from real life, like I'll have a disastrous travel experience and decide I need to write that in, but a lot of times I just try to think of some context that would be interesting to draw. I was a huge fan of old sitcoms like Gilligan's Island and Three's Company, and sort of that comic timing of those shows, and so I think my work is sort of a melding of comic strips and sitcoms in a weird way. My hope for Jane's World is that people keep buying the books, and that the stories keep coming as easily as they're coming, and that the characters have a long life.